So somebody sent me a book a while back called The Conference of the Birds by a poet named Attar. And this one is translated by Shole Wolpe. I probably didn't pronounce that right. But it's a wonderful book. Apparently Attar is the teacher, the guru of Rumi. And he wrote this epic poem. And in the beginning of it, all of these birds have to go on a quest to the court of Simorg, which I think is a metaphor at this point for enlightenment or heaven or union with the divine, however you want to word that. And so all of these birds that have to go on this quest are making excuses for why they can't do it or aren't going to do it. And each bird basically grabs one of the deadly sins or one of the attachments that people have that kind of hold them to this world. And the partridges, I'll read what the partridge has to say about himself here. He says, "I always raid the quarries in my tireless search for gems. I roam the great peaks and the curvatures of the mountains to become a master of all the jewels. Love of gems is the flame in my heart. It flares with each elegant find. When this fire rages and leaps, the pebbles I've eaten melt and turn to blood." So just saying that, he loves it so much that it's become part of him. Like Swami Prabhupada, one of my great teachers, used to laugh when one of the devotees told him that when somebody scratched his Mercedes, he bled. And he thought that was a great, great example of what attachment really is, to really stick to things of this world. And so this partridge is in the quest for gems, for beautiful things, for, maybe riches would be the equivalent for us, or even gems. You can be in love with gems, I guess, and be attached to that. But then he goes through and comes before the head bird called the hoopoe, or the hoopoe. I don't know what it's called. And the hoopoe is going along and giving teaching to each of these birds to help them deal with their attachment or their stuckness, to try and convince them to undertake this journey to this great court. So the hoopoe, I'm saying it that way because I think it sounds cool. He says, "Partridge, you glitter like a gem all right, but with deceit. How long will you limp and offer lame excuses? Your feet and beak are red with blood because you're enamored of worthless stone, oblivious to the true treasure. What is a gem? It's just a glittering colored rock. Has your heart become stone simply for the love of rocks? If a gem didn't glimmer with rainbows, would it not just be a rock? You're a fool to be bewitched by shiny colors. If you grasp this, you won't chase such shallow, meaningless rubbish. If you're worth anything, you'll stop chasing a piece of rock." And so you see, this is the teaching for us here. It's the way to overcome our attachments to things in this world is to pay attention to their true nature. See how long they affect you. See if you are caught in a cycle with them that you have to continually repeat in order to gain your pleasure from these things. Take a look at it, look beyond the glimmering glitter of the gem and see that it really is just a rock. Understand that everything in the world here has a beginning and an end, that nothing can satisfy you like you need to be satisfied. There's nothing in this world that you can have just once and be fully satisfied forever. But the sages have said that that's the nature of realization. That's the nature of the final, destination of spiritual life, that inward glance within to find out your own true nature and to find out that you are self-fulfilled, that it's not through the senses that we find this light. And so the hippoe bird sums it up with this little verse here. "A gem is but a stone, so abandon the quarries. Mine your own soul for a glimpse of the beloved's face. Gem seeker, Turn your heart away from gems. Go seek the great jeweler instead. So a couple of things there, really great. So abandon your quarries. Stop going and mining this world for temporary things that cannot fulfill you, right? He says, instead, go inward. Mine the quarry of your soul, the inner quarry, and see if you can capture a glimpse of the beloved's face. The beloved, that divine presence within, that pure love, that source of love that's within you, the source of wisdom, the source of thought, the source of this universe that you've created for yourself. Gem seeker, turn your heart away from jewels. Renounce. Pull yourself away from these things that have trapped you into an endless cycle of a repeated action to get a small little dose of pleasure that evaporates almost as quickly as it comes and leaves you hungry again. Gem seeker, turn your heart away from the jewels and go seek the great jeweler instead. You see, you are the thing that makes things beautiful. You are the things that make you are the thing that makes things good or evil. And so go within and find your own nature. Go within and see if you can silence the mind to find out what you are when no one and nothing is telling you what you are. It's only then, in that stillness of mind, that you find your true nature. A great sage, Ramakrishna, he says, in the silence of the mind, that which arises is the voice of the beloved.